Now, this is a conversation that is, I would say, I'm very intrigued on all y'all's thoughts when it comes to this. Dana White, president of the UFC, went on a podcast and he was talking about men's mental health culture. Now, we have an audience of normal men here who watch our show on a day-to-day basis. And this is something that over the last, I'd say 20, 25 years, the idea of mental health has become a very big topic in society, right? When I was growing up, hey, you sack up, son. Get over it, right? The idea that, listen, you need to just get on, figure it out. And the idea of mental health was not even a thing, right? But now you hear people talk about how mental health is just as important as physical health. So he kind of went off on this idea of men's mental health, and I wanted to get y'all's perspective on this.
I hate this whole men's mental health bullshit that they talk about. Unfortunately, when you're a man, you are the provider. You are the one that takes care of your family. You are the example for your kids when they grow up, and your sons, and your daughters. And you, unfortunately, you can't be that guy I see these guys posting on social media, oh, I had a bad day and I'm so sad and all this other crazy shit.
So unattractive.
It's unattractive to other males, let alone women. I can't even imagine. I'm really against all that shit.
Okay, let's start there. Phoenix, I want to hear your thoughts on this first.
So if you asked me 20 years ago, I would have 100% disagreed with him. I would have said, no, it's really critical, mental health, I now 100% agree with him, like completely, because I've seen what an exploratory society of one's emotions and, really analyzing my past behaviors and all this other stuff of what it has done. And I've watched the feminization of the male species and culture happen, and I've never seen men at their most weak than we are right now. So when you look at the most accessible mental health for men is right now, and I'm also seeing the most femme men I've ever seen right now. So I'm not seeing much help here. I think at the moment, we need to get back to, in my opinion, 1950s man guy of take charge, shut up, this is what we're doing, becoming that leader again. Now, certainly I'm not talking about true mental illness. If you're want to hurt yourself or something like that, obviously seek help. That's not what I'm talking about. Just right. In general, I think that the culture of therapy and awareness of that for men, I think it's too much feminization of that. I think it's time to go back to testosterone and being a dude again.
Ladies, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think that when you see a guy talking about how, I had a really rough day and I need to get this out, if I don't talk about this, I'm going to keep it all bottled up. Are you drawn to that, or do you see it as like they do? It's like, ugh.
So I don't think that men should be coddled, and I do think that it's gone way too far that, oh my god, people are only thinking what they're feelings, and we see what feminism's done to fucking society and it's buried masculinity. But yeah, I agree with Phoenix. I think that there are people with true mental illness, and they should have those resources, and of course men do also struggle. But taking a social media and going, oh my god, my feelings are hurt today because my coworker was mean to me, or I saw a woman on TikTok who hurt my feelings. Grow the fuck up.
There's some context that I need to include before we get to blabs. That Dana White has been accused of slapping his wife in public. Okay, so just people wanted to point that out in the comments here, so I think it's important to do that. Which, when you think of masculinity, I don't really think slapping around a woman is very.
That'd be the opposite.
Personally. Yes.
Yeah, no, masculinity is supposed to be about control and leadership. You don't knock around your. That's the opposite. Control, right. Focus, direction that you're going in is masculinity.
Right. So, Blaz, what about you? Do you think, what are your thoughts on Dana White's opinions here?
So I'm kind of with Phoenix and Va on this. I don't think we should be coddling anyone, actually, men or women, because I feel like everyone's just a big soft wuss compared to what people were like 100 years ago. But I don't think like you should be able to just be like, oh, I had a long day, it was pretty shitty, blah blah blah, and just vent. That's totally fine. Venting is fine, and then pick yourself up by the boots and go. So
I do think that there's a big difference between being aware that you're kind of not in a great space and being coddled, right? If that makes sense, because I do think that we do live in certainly a coddled culture
Yes.
when it comes to a lot of this. Now, I'll tell you what. One person who had strong feelings about this, of all people, also ironically, their property now owned by TKO, the people who own UFC and WWE, the greatness of the Macho Man Randy Savage actually spoke about this on Arsenio Hall.
Okay.
Ooh, I love that guy.
Your middle name is Macho, but I'm wondering if you ever cry. Has Macho Man ever cried?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh. It's okay for macho men to show every emotion available right there, because I've cried 1,000 times, I'm gonna cry some more. But I've soared with the eagles and I've slithered with the snakes and I've been everywhere in between. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. There's one guarantee in life, and that there are no guarantees, yeah. And I understand this. Yeah. Nobody likes a quitter. Nobody said life was easy, so if you get knocked down, take the standing 8 count, get back up, and fight again. And you're a macho maniac. Dig it.
I bet you love that, Phoenix.
Explained exactly like that too. Yes, I've slithered with the snakes and I've soared with the eagles.
This guy puts it really well. He says there's a line between normalizing and healing versus attention seeking, right? And I think that's where a lot of this kind of stems from. Or like we put a lot of attention to the victim mentality of it, right? It's okay to kind of talk about struggles that you have without going like, whatever, right? And wanting to turn into a victim, because everybody goes through the shit. Like everybody goes through the shit.
I think I think like the guy code should be Rocky Balboa's speech to his son in Balboa. Like that, if you know what I'm talking about, you know exactly what speech I'm talking about. When he's talking about when you that life's going to hit you and you keep coming back. That to me is what a dude should be following. That's all I can say. That's the best example of it. Craig, you familiar with that speech?
Yeah. I wish I could play it. It's phenomenal, and you're 100% right.
That's it. I think that is what every man should look to and strive for.
Well, it's a very polarizing conversation, because there's an entire generation who have been taught to, these young men who have been taught to, let your feelings out, right?
Yeah, victimhood culture where you sit and you go, poor me, feel bad for me. It is a issue with not only men, but also women.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think it'd be funny, because I bet you a lot of women would say, we really do think that men should, have more therapy, all this other shit. And then when crisis comes, which dude, if you had A or B, the guy that's like, here's what we're doing, this isn't, shut up, this is what we're doing, da da da, and this gets us out. And the other guy is like, well, I don't know, this is just too much for me. I need to look inward, and I don't know. I need to, like that. No, you want A, you want that. There's no time for all this bullshit. Man up, move forward.
Well, the idea of saying somebody should man up is now deemed as toxic. It's toxic.
Again, I would point to the
right?
society that we're in and go, how has that been working for everybody?
Yeah. How's that exactly?
Yeah, are we doing good here?
Right. All right. We'll continue with that, and once again, we'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Exactly, what's your thoughts when it comes to this? Should we man up, or should we just let all of our feelings out? Be incredibly attractive to all women.